Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Two bits of information first, sorry about the clutter behind, you can see boxes and all sorts. I'm telling you, there's big revamps happening. You're going to see everything on screen at some point very soon, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled. But secondly, Premier League season is done. I do want to react to my Premier League predictions that I made at the start of the season. So what's going to be happening tomorrow is you're going to be getting a double upload. Yes, first thing in the morning, you're going to be getting my predictions, my reaction to my predictions, that was. Let's just say it didn't go according to plan. Kind of. You'll see tomorrow. Anyway, that will be uploaded, and then later on I'll give you my second video of the day. Could be a Reddit video if nothing crazy happens in terms of football news, but today we've got football news, and we've got mainly Chelsea orientated news. And for me and for you and for any Chelsea fan out there, it's starting to get tasty. It's starting to get tasty, and I can't wait to tuck in. So quickly, let's get right into it. Starting off with number one main man as of right now, Jules Kounde. What's happening with Kounde? Let's check it out. Fabrizio Romano says Kounde has been top of the list for Chelsea for months. He's considered serious option, and the player would love a Premier League move. Release clause is 80 million euros. Chelsea will push to sign Kounde, working on it since a long time. The plan hasn't changed. Now, one development that I think is going to steer us in the right direction in terms of this is happening is this. Check this out. Jules Kounde spotted in London yesterday. Looks like he's coming to Chelsea. And it wasn't just this guy who took a picture with him. There were multiple people taking pictures with Kounde. That, if you don't know, is just off Oxford Street. I think he was pictured around Oxford Street. He was pictured in and around that entire area. So on the way to like Bond Street, that junction with the tube stations, he was pretty much around that area. Multiple people taking pictures with him. So Kounde is in London. Why is he in London? Can only point to one thing. He wants to be here. He loves it here. He's already escaped the grasps of Sevilla, where he was held hostage for an entire season. And he's about to sign for Chelsea. I think this is pretty much given the all clear, and I think it's about to happen very soon. Now, we've had Matt Law and others confirm, not just Kounde, but there's other people on Chelsea's shortlist. Let's get right into it. Along with Jules Kounde, Matt Law says Kounde and Josko Gvardiol on an 8-player shortlist to solve Chelsea's defensive crisis. Obviously with, well, is it a crisis? It's not really a crisis. If we're replacing them accordingly, it's not a crisis. It's just players leaving and players coming in. So that was, a very strong word to use. But we've got players leaving. Rudiger's left. Christensen is, let's just say he's left as well. Alonso is about to tie up a new deal with Barcelona. That is happening. Azpilicueta apparently has an agreement with Barcelona, but it's up to Chelsea whether they actually want to sell or not. So Azpilicueta, I think, will be out of the door as well. But don't be surprised if he were to stay for one more season, although I don't think he's going to play very much. So I think he'll be going to Barcelona. But we've had Matt Law give us more of an indication. Which names are involved? What are Chelsea going to do? Let's get right into it. Jules Kounde is expected to join Chelsea this summer. Other targets include Gvardiol, Torres, and Jimenez. Could move for Raheem Sterling depending on sales, and will move fast once the ownership is given the green light. And talking about that, we're going to get into that one very shortly, but it's looking good in terms of the sell. But the names that he's just mentioned, Kounde, we know is going to be happening. Gvardiol of RB Leipzig, 20-year-old Croatian centre-back. You know what? He's had a very good season at RB Leipzig. Now, I don't want to seem like a buzzkill here. Gvardiol is someone that I think would actually fit right in. Into our plans, into how we want to play. And at such a young age, with such potential, who's had a very good season, I think he could be someone in for the long term, someone that could come into Chelsea and be in that back line for 10 years. Could be. 20 years old, he's young. He's a solid centre-back. He just joined RB Leipzig, though. He's only been there one season, joining from Dynamo Zagreb. So if you're looking at RB Leipzig's position, They bought him for, I think it was about 17 million or 15 million or something like that. The bid that apparently Chelsea are getting ready to table this summer for him is in the region of 42 million. So when you're looking at that, RB Leipzig, who do normally sell their players, would they turn that down? I don't think they would, you know. For someone who's 20, for someone who's just joined, for them to pretty much treble their profit, or at least get their money back and then add 2 more times the amount that they actually bought him for, would be good business for RB Leipzig. And with that, I think they'd be able to go and fetch another defender for 15 million, just like they did for Gvardiol, and pocket themselves 30 odd million. So I think they could do that. As I've said, they are a selling club. They aren't a club that just tend to keep their players. They are a team that tend to eventually dispatch their players for more money. So I would look at that and think it's possible. In the same way that I think Cucurella from Brighton is possible, despite him being at Brighton for just 1 year, where they bought him for around the same sort of fee, and now we would have to buy him for about 50 million. You know? So I think it's possible. Gvardiol, it makes me interested. Now, the other names on that shortlist, Pau Torres, Villarreal, has had a very good season, got to the Champions League semi-final, has had a decent season under Unai Emery. Would he be someone to come in at Chelsea? I think he's shown enough promise, but I don't know. Chelsea needs... I don't want to say we need top players. That'd be unrealistic for us to go, let's go for the best. But we need someone that we can look at and go, you know what? That is someone that's going to come in and make an immediate difference. Or someone that has so much time on their hands. Gvardiol, out of the names I've just mentioned, is probably the best one to go to. Pau Torres, Jimenez, Atletico Madrid. That's a lot of money, I think, in terms of Jimenez. I don't think Atletico would let him go for cheap. So... right now, Gvardiol alongside Kounde seem like the best ones that Chelsea are going to go after. Raheem Sterling is a weird one. Is he better than any winger we have right now at the Bridge? I want to say yes. Although I have my reservations about Raheem Sterling. Because sometimes I think he can be a little too selfish. Sometimes I think his decision-making is all over the place. I don't want another situation where we have a winger who's not complete. You know, now Raheem Sterling on his day can be unstoppable, okay? But that's on his day. This is the thing. I don't want players that are on their days. I want players that are here every week. You know, I reckon in the same sort of breath that we've struggled with consistency with Ziyech, with Pulisic, with all of these guys, Hudson-Odoi and, you know, all them lot. Sterling's level above. But... I even suspect with Sterling we would have that same issue pop up here and then. Maybe not as much, but I think it would pop up here and then. In the same way that he's not really been involved for Manchester City this season. He's been involved at times, but he's not been the main man like he once was. I don't want someone's rejects, you know, someone's backup dancer to come in and be Chelsea's main man. We should be on that level where we are attracting someone who's going to come and smash it. So Sterling... I got my reservations, if I'm honest. But leave me your thoughts down below. I want to hear what your opinion is on Raheem Sterling, because that's a very interesting one. Now, in relation to the takeover, finally, it looks like we're getting somewhere. Roman Abramovich finally given the green light from the government to sell Chelsea to Todd Boehly. So this is apparently looking to be completed within the next 24 hours or so. It says Whitehall has told the pair they must still await final approval from Portugal and Europe, but an agreement on the license is likely. Why? Because Roman Abramovich has Portuguese citizenship now, as of months ago. You remember when I spoke about this on the channel. He has Portuguese citizenship because apparently his roots go back to a certain type of, I think it's a certain group of Jewish people who are affiliated or from Portugal, and he has a root there, so he's therefore Portuguese. It's a mad link, but yeah, he's got Portuguese citizenship because of it. So now apparently even Portugal need to give approval for him to be able to allow Chelsea to be sold and the government to approve everything as they need to. So there's that. But apparently within the next 24 hours, we could be having movement in terms of finally Todd Boehly and his man them coming into Chelsea and taking the club over, and Roman Abramovich's time coming to an end. Now, talking about Todd Boehly, Fabrizio Romano's given us a little lowdown on what is the plan at Chelsea this summer. This is going to be good. Fabrizio Romano and Chelsea's new owners, they will be really active in the market this summer. They want to do important things for Chelsea Football Club. They're ready to do it. Now, if you haven't seen Fabrizio Romano's video from earlier on, he did upload on Chelsea and he did speak about Todd Boehly and what is the plan? What's the vibe? As soon as all of this is green light, is given the green light, sanctions from Chelsea are lifted, Chelsea can do business, what's going to happen? Apparently, Todd Boehly and everyone is ready to go immediately into the transfer market and let's start getting some action done. Let's start getting some deals done. Let's start replacing the players that are leaving. Let's start going after some targets. Let's start rebuilding this team. From the get-go, it seems like Todd Boehly, Thomas Tuchel, even Emma Hayes, the entire club are all on the same page in terms of the rebuild. We need to rebuild. There needs to be a big rebuild. And we need to really invest. Now, Fabrizio Romano has stressed that Todd Boehly apparently is ready to back Tuchel for the centre-back replacements, a defensive midfielder, and even an attacker we're going to be going after. Which attacker? Attacker in terms of a wing, attacker in terms of a striker. Fabrizio did say striker. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily going to mean we're actually going for a number 9 or if we're going for just an attacker and someone that can play in the front three. But with a defensive midfielder were to come in, I think this unlocks Chelsea's potential. Why? Because if we were to get a proper defensive midfielder, which we don't have at the club right now, that unlocks Chelsea to start playing with one defensive midfielder and 2 number 8s in front. You go back to the 4-3-3. You know, that is a way. And hopefully it happens. Or even if you were to stick in a back 3, you could have one defensive midfielder, 2 8s and 2 wing backs. You could, alongside 2 strikers, of course. The only way would be to play a 3-5-2 in that case. But this would help us a lot. And personally, my opinion, I would love for us to eventually transition into a 4-3-3. Transition into one defensive midfielder and 2 8s in front. Just like we did when we had Makalele, when we had Essien as the DMs, if you remember. When we had Lampard and Ballack as the 2 8s, if you remember. Man, we were powerful under that. Man, it was so good. I would love if we could transition into that, but we need a DM, and we'll see what happens. But it seems like this summer is going to be very, very active, and this is music to my ears. Chelsea need this. We need this. I hope we're given the green light, and as soon as the sell has gone through, and we say goodbye to Roman Abramovich, that video will be coming as soon as everything is official, and Todd Boehly and his guys walk in officially as the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. It's ready, steady, go. And let's start getting business done. And let's start rebuilding. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in terms of everything I've discussed today. Kounde, Gvardiol, Raheem Sterling. What do you think? Todd Boehly, Roman, the green light, it's happening. When do you think we're going to start doing our business? And let me know your overall thoughts. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget, tomorrow I will be giving you the double upload. You'll be getting my review, my reaction to my Premier League predictions and how right or wrong I was in terms of how this season finished. And later on, I'll be giving you a second video in the day. So I'll see all of you tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you have enjoyed this. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care. And peace.